everybody, welcome back. I'm sitting on my floor because that's what all the cool YouTubers do, and by cool YouTubers I mean Conan Gray. That video came out like 3 years ago. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda, and today this is the video you guys have all been waiting for. It's my AP art review video. So today we're going to be going through my entire portfolio, the writing that I did for each piece, and the final writing. So for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new to this world, there are 3 sections of the new portfolio. There is the sustained investigation, which is 15 pieces long. There is the selected works, which is 5 pieces long. And then there's the writing section, which is 1,200 characters, I believe. So for those of you who are new to this process, who are starting the portfolio, or who are already in the process, hi, this video is for you, and I'm going to be giving some tips. I'm mostly going to be going through my portfolio and explaining what I was thinking and what it is about for me, but I hope that some of that will help you in your process of making your portfolio. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what the portfolio process was for me. So when I started the portfolio, I was kind of stressed out about what my sustained investigation question was going to be, and I have an entire video about about how to come up with a sustained investigation question, so I'll tag that there. So yeah. So this entire process for me was like very near and dear to my heart, because it is very much what made me want to go into art as a serious career. It kind of took it from this like hobby and like morphed it into like this is something that I could actually do for work and get paid for. Not that like that's what this is trying to teach you, but that's what it taught me. Everybody gets like a different thing out of this process. Another thing that I wanted to mention was about my score. I got a 3 on my portfolio. Let me advocate for myself. I worked very, 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 very hard on this portfolio. I did not get a 5. So I am only here to show you what a 3 portfolio looks like. This is for your information only, so you can improve and do better than I did, or stay at the same score if you don't necessarily care, which I suggest doing. I suggest having that mindset from the beginning. Just try as hard as you can to enjoy the process of making the art and having the finished product and getting to show your classmates and your friends how happy and, you know, cool this process is. That's how my energy was throughout that process. And I didn't get a 5. But the years that I did this were like so amazing and great, and I was happy with the pieces that I made that like the score doesn't even like really matter to me, because I love my work so much and I'm going to art school. Just have it be known that, you know, this is for your information only, and I have a good attitude about it, so I hope you can too if you got the same score as me this year. So yeah, let's get into going through my pieces and explaining what they're about. Okay. Here's the deal. So I'm going to go chronologically from 1 to 15 with my sustained investigation pieces and explain them briefly, and then tell you the materials I used and the processes that I wrote down. A lot of this work is in my college portfolio, so if you guys want to check out that video, here's another card for you to go look at. That is the portfolio that I submitted to colleges when I was applying. So a lot of that work is also in this portfolio. If you've already seen that video, I'm sorry for having to see it being explained for a second time. I would also like to mention my sustained investigation question, which I forgot to do before. It is, what do outcasts feel or look like in society? Without explaining into the question a little bit, I'm just going to show you my work and have you interpret it yourself, because that's what College Board did, so I'm going to have you do the same thing. This is my first piece, Portia Contrell. This piece is hung up at my father's house. I am at my mother's house, and I also am too scared to take it from down the wall if I went over there, so I cannot show it to you in person, but here is a picture. Okay, sick. So this piece is about ageism and homophobia. I met this woman, Portia Contrell. She runs the Silver Pride Project in Dallas, Texas. If any of you live there or have met her, she is an angel. I spoke with her for about an hour, and in that time, I learned so much about, you know, just like her and her community and like the work she's done, and she's amazing. This picture isn't of her. I dedicated this to her. As I was saying, this piece is about ageism and homophobia and the fact that sometimes people over 50 feel left out in the gay community because younger people have grown up in a world where it is much more accepted, as, you know, people over 50 most likely have not. Portia really inspired me with that entire concept, and I just wanted to roll with it, so yeah. The piece is in oil pastel and like white ballpoint pen. My explanation for processes is rainbow colors show sexuality and emphasize the woman's identity that isn't usually celebrated. So I had to give a very brief explanation. For those of you who don't know, the processes is 100 characters or less with spaces, so it's a very limited amount of time, and some of the statements that I give you guys are gonna sound a little weird because of that, so just bear that in mind. The next piece, actually pieces 2 and 3, is this one. This is my next piece. You cannot really see it. I'm so sorry, my camera's being really wonky lately. This piece was done in paint, pen, and pencil. It's actually pieces 2 and 3. I did a process photo and the final picture, which is this one. This piece is very personal. It's a self-portrait. I mean, not obviously, you guys can't really see it, but it's a self-portrait, and it was from a time that I was getting cyberbullied in high school, and I know that's a thing like a lot of people go through, and it really affected me, and I wanted to draw about it, so I did. It's me in a phone that, you know, a friend is holding. If anybody else is going through that and makes art, do this, because it helps. So the whole incident with the cyberbullying is why I did this portfolio, because I really felt like an outcast in my school, and you know, that led me to want to do pieces about other people. And then my processes for this one is contrast of dark and light indicates drama and grief in relation to bullying and low self-esteem. So this is my 4th piece. It is me. For this piece I used acrylic, paint, and fine liner, and also like colored pen. I did this kind of later on, but the concept for this piece was in junior year when I was supposed to go stag to prom. But this concept was kind of like showing my confidence and like me being fine with going alone. So yeah, that's me with all the couples at prom. That never happened because of COVID. This is my 5th piece. For those of you who have seen my college portfolio video, this was also in there. It is called Things People Said. So this is me in a hallway, eating lunch alone. How sad, how dramatic. I came up with this concept when I was sitting in this hallway. I was like, I should make an art piece about this, and then the rest is history, as they say. All the words around me are things that people have actually said to me, which is so fun. All of this is in acrylic paint, and my processes says, bird's eye view shows the subject is feeling unimportant. The text gives context to these emotions. So yeah, I was feeling like lonely and set, like looked down upon, I guess I was kind of thinking of. Yeah, so that's that depressing piece. That was, hello. My next piece is somewhere in this house, but I don't really know where it is. It is called When the Power of Love Overcomes the Love of Power. And it is also my college portfolio video. It's a reference from a picture taken at a Black Lives Matter protest back in March? April? I don't know, I have no concept of time. It's a picture of my friend Devin holding up a sign, and I really loved the picture. So for the people, I used really bright colors and like kind of different ones to show that everybody is unique And then I use the black clothing to show that everyone is unified. So even though we have our differences, we are unified for this one reason, to come together and to protest this. Also, everybody was like wearing black clothes, so that's also kind of a theme, but like a less deep one, I think. So this piece is in colored pencil, marker, and black pen. And my processes was bright colors and black clothes signify unique people being shamed in society but allied as a group. My next piece is also in a frame and it's downstairs. This one is called The First Outcasts, and this was the first piece that I made. But basically it's just supposed to be like about conforming, and it's Adam and Eve in Times Square, if you guys didn't get the gist. So there's a bunch of street signs telling them to look a different way and to conform because they're obviously not clothed. And they're being censored and everybody's like looking at them. Everything is different, like the background is black and white and they are in color. So yeah. I think if I explain any deeper into that one, I'm gonna sound a little bit crazy. So let's just move on. I did this in oil paint and acrylic paint. So it turned out fine, and I think that the technique is nice. I did this in junior year when I first started making art, so I you know, whatever. I give myself credit. The processes says, contrast is used to emphasize the central figures. Black and white background wants them to conform. My next one I have with me. This is how big it is for reference. So that one is about body image and the emphasis that society puts on like more stereotypically beautiful women. So I felt this way about my body for a long time, and I wanted to put a girl that looked like me in the back. So I did. So I tried to just communicate that idea of like society like putting down plus size women and like, you know, putting them in the background so they're not seen. This was done all in colored pencil. It took a very long time, but I enjoyed making it. And the processes says, foreshortening highlights what society usually focuses on because of typical standards of beauty. So there you go. This one is not my favorite. I executed this. This is the second time that I executed this piece. The final one is the second time. And I still think I could have done it better because I really liked the concept of it, but like I just couldn't find a way to like properly, you know, execute the piece. And this kind of shows just like class struggle or like, you know, privilege. So this one is done in oil pastel and acrylic paint. And I also use colored pencil in here quite a lot. I don't know why I didn't put that in materials, but I use that a little bit. The processes says, pinks and blues contrast from setting is used to show similarity between people with different lives. Piece number 10. Do I have that here? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Okay, whatever. So this piece is 10 and 11. It's a process and a final piece picture. This piece is kind of just like a fun one. I didn't think too much into this one. I just wanted one that like looked like a bunch of eyes staring at somebody because they like looked different or whatever. So I also hadn't done a lot of male subjects, and I wanted to show College Board that I could actually draw men. I know I'm not the only, I can't be the only one who struggles with that, can I? Whatever. Anyways, so yeah, this one's very simple. The materials, I used broken CDs, that's what the little like glass-like things are, and I used highlighter and acrylic paint. And then the processes for both 10 and 11 are broken CDs are reflective and make the viewer see themselves in relation to the subject and relate. So that also too, like the person looking at the piece would see themselves in the little glass shatters and think like, oh, like am I the person seeing the outcast or am I the outcast? That type of thing. Then piece number 12. Oh, this is one that haunts me till today. What about like if I shield the light? Nope, not gonna work. So the reason this piece haunts me till this day is because I did like 3 versions of it, and by the end I was just like, I'm so done. But basically it's me in a classroom, and I have this like huge bubble above my head that's supposed to be like taking up a lot of mental space, just like in relation to like everything else. Like being different is like a lot of what I'm thinking about. So everything in that bubble is things that I enjoy, things that are about me, and I don't know if you can really see it, but there's red writing all over the bubble saying like, stop this, which is like a lot how I was feeling. I was having these like internal intrusive thoughts about like, I don't have the right to be myself. And I think like a lot of people go through that in middle school and high school, and if you are, don't worry, it gets better. This one is done in colored pencil and charcoal. And then my processes is composition is used to physically show anxious thoughts about conforming, taking up mental space. That's so fun. Ow! Only 3 more pieces to go. Ow. So, piece number 13 is a digital piece. This one was inspired by my Uncle Dave. He is a dad who stays home with his kids. I think it's really cool. I did this in Photoshop. It's in Photoshop painting, whatever it's called. This is the first like fully digital piece I've ever done. My processes for this one was attire shows denial of gender roles. Composition shows tidy chaos that comes with single parenting. On to number 14, we're almost done. I'm so sorry this is taking so long. This one is one of my favorite pieces. I believe this is the second to last one I did. This one is referenced from a picture that I took in like a back alley in Boston. I did it in like Posca paint pens. The colors are kind of crazy because these are the only colors of the pens I had. Yes, that is the reason why I chose these colors. And I did black cats because my art teacher, Miss Best, she wanted us to include animals, and black cats was like the only thing I could think of because people are like superstitious of them, right? So I was like, oh, that's like kind of cool. And you know, I just like really enjoyed making this piece. Like I just wanted it to be pretty and kind of not think about the meaning. I feel like I did that a lot for so many of these pieces, and I wasn't just like enjoying making it and like the final product of it and like, you know, how nice and pretty it looked. So I wanted to do that a little bit more. So yeah, my processes for this piece was bright colors, contrast from black cats, emphasizing superstition and opposition of the animal. And then my final 15th piece, thank God. This one is a book or a zine. I think that's what they call them, a zine. Yeah, like a pop-up book. Basically, it is all of the characters from my pieces. I was really happy about this idea. From left to right, there is the businesswoman shaking the hands of the homeless woman. There's my friend Devin. Then there is me in the same clothes that I was sitting in the hallway in. The plus size woman from the body image one. Then there is the woman over 50 from the ageism and homophobia one. Then there's Adam and Eve from the first Outcasts. And then there is the dad with his little kid from the digital piece that I did. So that's the inside of it. And then on the outside, the cover is like a collage. It's on both sides of the pieces that I've done. And then there's like the shadows in between of the characters I drew on the other side. For this, I used a lot of materials. I used colored pencil, I used alcohol marker, I used a digital collage for Photoshop, which was the, what do you call it, the cover. So it's actually not that much. It's not that many materials. Then for the processes, I wrote, color and style is used to show cohesiveness with all of the characters in my portfolio works. Now for my selected work section. Most of the pieces in here are already in my portfolio, so I'm going to skip them. My first piece is Portia Contrell. I already told you guys about that one. My second piece is a life drawing, which is boring and I can't show on YouTube. Number 3 is things people... Whoa. Number 3 is things people said, which I already showed you guys. Number 4 is my piece Life as Eggs, which is in my college portfolio video that you guys can check out. And number 5 is When the Power of Love Overcomes the Love of Power. So yeah, that is it for all my pieces, and I'm gonna read you guys my writing section really quick. Here it is. In this series of work, I investigated what it was like for myself and others to feel like outcasts in a harsh and sometimes unaccepting world. At the beginning of my investigation, my pieces revolved around being discarded by my peers and the effect that it had on my self-esteem. As my work developed, I focused on others and their experiences. My work deals with themes of homophobia, sizeism, racism, and gender roles. Works 3, 5, and 12 show my experiences of feeling trapped and alone through contrast in color, foreshortening, and perspective. I then went on to investigate experiences outside of myself. For example, work 1 is entitled Portia Contrell and is named after a woman in Texas who runs a foundation to unify elders in the gay community. Work 6 is drawn from a reference photo taken at a Black Lives Matter protest with my friend Debbie in the foreground. Work 13 is based on my uncle, who's a stay-at-home dad, and debunks gender stereotyping in family life and parenting. Every narrative piece is based on my own personal experience or experiences of someone who is close to me who has dealt with similar feelings and prejudice of being an outcast or other. So there it is, ladies and gents. That is all of it. So, now that I've been talking about this video for so long and it's over, tell me what you liked and what you didn't like about my portfolio. I'm always up for some constructive criticism. And, if you guys have any questions about your portfolio, I have so many videos on it. And also, you are totally welcome in my comments to ask any questions. No question is a stupid question. I will be down there answering whatever I know. Also, if you guys have any video suggestions, I'm totally up for that. After this video, next week I will be posting my AP 2D design portfolio review. After that, I'm going to college, so whatever you guys want to see, if any of you are interested in going to Mass Art, let me know what you want to see when I'm there. For now, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, God bless you. Like, I know this is so long. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. Turn on post notifications to get a notification every time that I post. I usually post every Monday. Sometimes that changes, so turn on the notifications so you know. That's it. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye!